Look at you. You done made it. It is Friday at 5 o'clock, and you are here in your car ready to listen to the dulcet voice of Bob the Cigar Guy doing podcast experience. I got the smokes. Let's ride podcast experience with me, BTCG, episode 10. That's right. We are in double digits now, baby. 10, 10, 10. 10 weeks out. Man, we are killing this thing like you was killing work today. Thankful you didn't put hands on anybody. You actually managed your behavior and you were calm and relaxed and you are ready to get on the road and avoid this road rage and get home. Today we're going to talk a little bit about road rage. It's crazy. So I'm so glad you're here. You didn't work hard. You did. You earn a break. You earn a moment. Hopefully this weekend you get to fire up a couple good cigars, maybe tilt back a little bit if you like. Enjoy the family you love. Make sure that you're driving safe at 10 and 2 or 9 and 3, depending on when you went to driving school, and because they teach different due to airbags. But keep your eyes on the road and your eyes off of me, because I'm not worth looking at and your life is worth taking care of. So be safe when you drive. We sure do need you around here, and that is for sure. Having a little technical difficulty with my microphone. Let me get my microphone set up right. Test. There, we're good to go. We are running 5 by 5. And this morning I woke up. It is early. People, it is early. Today. It's Sunday. And I'm going to work straight through the whole week. It has been crazy at the car mill. And so to get all my content out, today I have to do a soccer video, which I just did, my Sunday video, smoking Umbagog Bronzeback, which is what I'm working on right now. And we need to talk about that Umbagog Bronzeback. And I got a Drew's Day to do, the Hoya Cabinetta. I'm going to smoke it Safari style. It blew my mind, to be honest. Then I've got the podcast, and then I got something sent to me from Blackwork Studio. Their new, where is it? Their new, don't look, I'm not going to hold up the cigar because I don't want you to look. Blackwork Studio sends us stuff pretty regular. Let me see. Fellow by Derek Matthews sends it to me. Neat guy. Sends great information. But it is the Black Label Trading Company's pleased to announce a shipment of Super Deluxe to select retailers beginning next week. Super Deluxe is handcrafted in Esteli, Nicaragua, and Fabrica Oveja Negra. It's a San Andres Maduro wrapper, Ecuadorian Habano binder, Nicaraguan filler. They sent us some small petite Coronas. Good price point. So I'll do a review on that and knock that out. I also got a company, a fella starting out a new cigar company. He says, hey, can I send you some cigars to try and just get your opinion and feedback on it? And I said, yeah, sure, send them to me. And so I'm kind of smoking through those two. So I'll probably smoke through one of those when I'm editing, so that I can kind of tell them what I'm tasting. Don't know if I'm going to do a review on or anything like that. I probably won't, but I will kind of chit and chat with them on that stuff. So, it's hard to do a review of such a small company because their distribution is very small. They may not have many ways to order the cigar. And I'm going to be honest with you, a very, very small company. I wonder if they're going to have the legs, the amount of capital it takes in the beginning to be able to sustain through the first 4, 5, 6 years, because you put out a lot more money than you bring in those first 4, 5, 6 years, and every bit of money you bring in, you need to turn it right back into materials and products and production. And so a lot of people don't prepare. You'll have some great cigars, great construction, and either they can't procure the tobacco again, or they just don't have the money to be able to pour into it to get it off and running. That's one of the hardest things I've learned from talking to people in the industry. that first 4 to 6 years is just a struggle, or you're having to compromise, and companies say, well, somebody ordered this blend and they backed out on the order. So if you want to buy these, we'll sell these to you ready to go. And then let's say you get a banger. Let's just say you get a banger and you can't get it no more because it was either a limited release tobacco, it was minimum tobacco, it was a yield issue, it was a very, very, very popular tobacco, and everybody wants, the big companies want that tobacco. Well, if a big company says, "Hey, I'll buy your whole field," there's nothing left for the small guys to pick up. So it's harder than I expected it to be. Now, this is the Umbagog bronze bag. I should give it its due and type in on the old computer Umbagog, Mbagogbronzeback. Umbagog bronze bag. Oh, it's gonna give me YouTube stuff. I don't want YouTube stuff. I just wanna get the. That's funny. Somebody did a video that says his best yet, the bronze back. I thought it said his best back, the bronze back. So lots of people have reviewed it. I know I've reviewed it. God, there's a lot of people reviewed that cigar. Wow, I'm surprised. Yeah, I did a bronze back versus Umbagog. Way down on the list. Y'all ain't watching that thing enough. Huh, that's funny. Okay, I'm trying to tell you what to do. Let's start this up here. Let's try it again. Umbagog. Let's spell with Bob. Bronzeback. Umbagog bronze bag. All right, Half Wheel. All right, Half Wheel's a great website. Charlie and them do a great job. And I like it because they have all the stories that all the manufacturers will send out a press release, and they will send out a bunch of stories romanticizing about the cigar. It's good stuff. I like reading it. But then it gets into the blend. They get into their little part, and then they talk about their tasting notes. And then at the bottom, they usually have all the stats. And so I skip the tasting notes. I usually skip the story until after the review. I go back and look at it later, and I just go straight to the meat and taters where I get to see the blend. So the wrapper is a Connecticut broadleaf, binder's Nicaraguan, and a filler's Nicaraguan. It's a 5-inch cigar, 48 gauge ring. It's called a Rothschild. Nice. Released April 16th, 2024. So this heifer's not even a year old. And it is a banger. It is. It's fantastic. I like the regular Umbagog, the OG Umbagog. I liked it when it came out. The price point was great. Flavors were fantastic. I mean, it was just, it did well, and it was a rugged cigar. It could take a beating a little bit. It could take a working shop. It could. You could drop it, pick it up, and smoke it. I don't suggest you continuously drop your cigars. That's just not a good idea. But I mean, if it happens, you don't really worry about it busting and cracking. I guess it could, but I haven't had problems with it. So that's that. Now, what was I talking about? So knocking out reviews early in the morning. So I got a ton of these to do, and then I got the editing process. I get all that done today. I know it's first world problems, my struggle. Yeah, Bob, you really are. Poor Bob. Poor Bob, you gotta smoke 4 cigars and do reviews and talk to your phone in the shed with the heater on. Yeah, I know. And I'm gonna smoke more cigars on top of that. But it is a full day. I had Saturday off. Spent it with First Lady. I actually met some friends. Yeah, I have friends. The Sosa and his wife, Miss Vanessa. We went out and had pizza. But I spent the morning and the afternoon with the First Lady, and we had a great time. Getting ready for PCA, right? It's coming up fast. Me, Chief, and First Lady are going. First Lady's not going to PCA proper. She's going to stay at the Airbnb we got, and she's got a friend coming down, and they are going to enjoy New Orleans while we are working ever so hard, smoking cigars and talking to amazing industry professionals. Yeah, I know my life is hard, but I've been working on every year. One of my budgeted items that I allow myself for the channel is I get baseball shirts with Bob the Cigar Guy on the front, different the year usually 25. I usually get this year. I'll have 25 on it, and all the other years. Don't tell Chief, but the reason I usually put the year on there is because he can never say, "Well, why don't you just use the ones you got from last year? You only wore them 15 times. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them." Well, because it said 24 on it. I can't use a 24 on a 25, Chief. That's just not good. I gotta be the product. I gotta be the guy, and so it's gotta say 25, right? Don't tell him I said that. That's true. I want new shirts and shoes, right? So, I got me some cool shirts, patriotic shirts. I got one's patriotic shirt. Well, no, they're both. I think they're both patriotic shirts. No, one kind of has this Harley Davidson vibe. It's really cool. It's got Bob Sky Guy on the front, BTCG on the back. That way, if I get lost, people can tell me who I am. Such a narcissist. Anyway, and I got a second shirt, which has a big old red, white, and blue eagle on the back of it. Well, I'm talking about Easy Rider look. But it is a 3-button polo with Bob Cigar Guy on the front, right? I love it because, I'm not wearing khakis, but Fabian and Terrence are good friends of the channel and good friends of mine. And their big thing is they got Fabian into khakis and polos. And so I will wear, the day I do the interview with Aganorsa, I will wear that polo shirt and try and get people to, Terrence and Fabian to chime in and say, yeah, we've converted him or something like that. I think it's going to be fun. But it's a step away from wearing the baseball jerseys, just evolving just a little bit. But I'll still stay blue collar straight to my roots. I usually like the sleeveless ones, and I just wear some other shirt on the underside. Next year will be a bigger year for the channel. It's going to be huge for the channel because we are going to try to do tons of giveaways. Because next year is, number one, it's the 250th anniversary of the United States being the United States. And so we really want to go patriotic. We're patriotic. We believe in this country. We love this country. Best country in the whole wide world. We got problems, but we got ways to fix them, and we are. And we should be proud of that. I'm extremely proud that I'm an American and blessed to be here. And so I'm very patriotic. Chief is as well. With that being said, we're going to try to do lots of big giveaways. And we're going to hopefully come up with some swag that is going to be very America forward. And so that's important. Another big thing with next year is it will be 10 years. 10 years since we started. So we've been around for 10 years, which our numbers aren't the best in the world. A lot bigger channels, but tons and tons and tons of channels have not made it to 10 years. Most channels don't make it to 2. Then some will peter out at 4 and 5. And when you get in that 10-year lane, you're actually starting to get into rarefied air. You're up there with Cigar Coop. You're up there with Cigar Dojo. You're up there with Cigar Craig. You're up there with Tim Swanson. You're up there with who else? There's others. I think Lee Mack, I think he's 10 years in. All great shows. But there's a lot less when you start getting up there. There's some other guys and ladies, but I just don't follow a lot of YouTube reviewers. Boston Jimmy, he's been around over 10 years. So to be inducted into that group of 10 years, me and Chief are very humbled and blessed that you choose to hang around and stay around long enough and give us purpose to be here. Because we don't do this just because we get to smoke cigars. We do smoke cigars and we do have cigars. We've been greatly blessed. We don't do this just to take the trips. And my goodness, we have taken some trips. We've been to, let's see, Vegas. We've been to Louisiana. We've been to Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Texas, Florida, Nicaragua. There's others. We've been to others. Over 10 years. So we've been to a lot of shows, a lot of events. We've got to meet a lot of great people, shake a lot of hands, get a lot of pictures taken, given a lot of hugs. This year, Drew Estate's going to do 2 barn smokers. They just got done this weekend when I'm shooting. They just got done with the Tortoliga in Arizona. That's a new one. They've got the family reunion in Kentucky this year at the Castle again. It'll be the second year they do that. And then they've got 2 barn smokers. They've got one in Connecticut, and they've got one in Florida. The one in Connecticut is actually a 2-day event. They're going back to, we went to Dallas too. We went to Texas. A 2-day event where you have the event Saturday, I think, and then the event Sunday. 2 separate tickets. Some people will buy both tickets already there. They already got the hotel room, so they buy a ticket for Saturday, they buy a ticket for Sunday, and they get twice as many cigars, and they bring their wife or their sweetie. And they don't smoke, and so they get their cigars too, so they walk away with four sets of cigars. That's a lot of cigars, and Lord help you if you want VIP. You would rack up like nobody's business. And it's usually Liga Strong. Connecticut is usually extremely Liga Strong. So you're going to get a lot of the Velvet Rats. You're getting a lot of the Ligas. You're getting a whole bunch of those. Plus, you're also getting the ones from the activation stations. This year is going to be just like every other year. It's going to be nothing like every other year because they're going to step it up. They're going to make it better. They're going to make it bigger. They're going to make it more. Do I know exactly what they're going to do? I don't. I wish I did. Hopefully we'll be invited. We've been invited all these years. Hopefully we'll be invited to go this year. We'd love to work the barn smokers and see y'all and hang with our friends and just give back and do some good content and have some good times. I'm going to switch it up this year if we go, and I'm going to try to pull off. Usually we're grinding really hard for setup. I'm going to see if I can pull off a little bit and maybe do some interviews while people are setting up their booths. I'd like to go see the guys over at Hoya, Christian and them. I'd like to go over and see maybe Henry setting up for the Undercrown, kind of while they're setting up. Be kind of interesting content, I think. And give you a little bit deeper into the barn smoker experience. It should be fun and it should be fantastic. I know real soon Abe with Smoke Inn is doing their cigar festival. I know there's going to be the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival. There's always the Black Smoke, the Big Smoke in Miami. You got those two. I bet Espinosa's going to do something. I don't know if Rome's going to do something, but there's going to be lots and lots of events this year. And I hope you get the opportunity to go and enjoy and smoke. Leave me a comment. Tell me which event you're going to or which ones are your forever wish list. Hopefully one day the political climate will be such where Drew Estate opens up Cigar Safari, because that is such an amazing, it's like Dirty Jobs. Remember Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe? Man, I love that show. I was so jealous of him. I so wanted that job because he got to go do the hard job and he didn't have to work his way up to the fun parts of the job. He just got to go in and do the fun parts, and then he got to leave and go somewhere else and do the fun parts and leave. And the experiences he has, I bet, are amazing. Now, I'm not wanting to climb into no little small, tight confined spaces. I know he went in the Golden Gate Bridge. He was so far down in the Golden Gate Bridge, taking rust and repainting parts that you could only go in one direction, and if you got back out, they just left you there, and because they weren't dragging you out because you couldn't come out, and you were under the water, you were so far down in the stanchions of that place. I wouldn't do that job. It wouldn't fit. Even if I did, I wouldn't do it. But he had some hair raising, harrowing experiences, but he also had some great ones. Fantastic jobs. And so Safari is a lot like that. You get to make your own blend, a couple blends. You get to make a blended Hoya and make a blended Drew Estate with the master blenders. And you get to pick your tobaccos and they roll the cigars for you. You get to go through all the processes. You can go through the fields. You get to go into the barns. You get to go to where they're planting the seeds. You get to go onto the different rolling floors. And you get to see the whole process of all the different areas and how huge it is. And you get to be impressed, and you will be impressed at the quality control. You'll also get to see how Drew Estate does healthcare for their employees and how they really are employee focused, how they give them the ability to expand their life. A lot of these people don't ever leave their communities because there's just no way out. And so Drew Estate gives them ways out by allowing them to pay on time on a motorcycle, which is huge, or bicycle or whatever, medical clinics for them and their families. They take really good care of them. We were out in town, which is third world for sure. And if anybody had on a Drew Estate shirt because they were working there and they saw the Drew Estate vans, I actually watched a guy dust off his shirt real good and straighten it out real good so the Drew Estate logo was nice on his shirt. And as he walked by, he was smiling just to let us know, hey, I work at Drew Estate. He was proud of what he did. And that really resonated with me. If an employee, just a regular old Joe, is proud of their job and they want to rep their company, that means their company is repping them. It's not an easy job, probably. It's probably a very difficult job, but it's a job with a purpose, and they feel like they have a purpose, and they feel like they matter. And that's amazing to me. I love that. I'm the champion of the average guy, girl, hard worker, blue collar, no sleeves kind of people. Now, if you got Bugatti money and you own a Fortune 500 company, I like you too. But I don't resonate with you as well because I don't have a clue what your life is like. I know your life is probably just as hard as everybody else's, just hard in a different way. So there's that. Road rage. This was interesting. Yesterday, I think I told you, we went out to eat with the Sosa, a good friend of mine, Louis Sosa, and his wife, Vanessa. And when we were driving there, we were riding in the car. First lady was driving. And we're in a short, sporty car. And this big old Escalade or Suburban, for whatever reason, we're at a red light. And First Lady is giving space to the cars that could come out and turn the other way across traffic, like from little side roads. And there was a person trying to turn, so she stopped. And so there was about 3-4 car lengths between us and the car in front of us. But there was 15 cars in front of that to the red light. And the light was red, and it's a long light, main road. And this stupid car behind us, this big Escalade, Suburban, whatever it was, is laying on the horn, burr, burr. And I'm sitting there going, what the hell, where are they honking at, right? Because there's like 4 lanes of traffic. I'm like, what are they honking at? First he goes, I don't know. I said, what is going on? Who's honking a dang horn? And I'm looking around, and I hear it again, and my ear picks it up, and it's the car behind. I said, is that the car behind us? And she looks back, and she goes, yeah, that lady is just mad. A nice, pretty, shiny, big old car. But she mad. She big mad. Look at you. You mad. You big mad. She was, too. For no reason. It's not like the light was green. It's not like she was stopping and letting traffic get blocked or whatever. And so the light turned green, the car came in front of us, and then we took off. And that joker beeped the horn again. Burp. And I'm like, really? And so I'm not going to be who I used to be most of the time and throw up that one finger in the back window. Right? I don't do that no more. I do my best not to. So I just kind of stuck my hand up and I waved. Now that can be offensive. That can be aggressive. People are like, "Oh, he's a jerk," blah blah blah. And yeah, I probably instigated a little bit by doing that. But I was like, "You're an idiot. You're an idiot." Target's right on our tail. And Sarah's like, "That lady's right on our tail." And so eventually that joker switches lanes and gets next to us and starts to just lunge kind of side next to us, like to let us know they're there in this big car. And I'm sitting there going, Heifer, you ain't got no clue. Yeah, I called her Heifer. You ain't got no clue who you messing with. You better back up. And so then they're driving, leaning forward. I don't know why they're leaning forward because they could see out the window, leaning forward on the steering wheel and yelling out the car, yelling with the window up, which is kind of stupid. And Sarah looks at her, and she had restraint. Sarah's demure. I guess that's what they call it now. She's a lady, so she's not going to flip them off. But you got to remember, Sarah came from man. She came from hard times. She got a little bit of that, that thug in her. Mm-hmm. She got it buried down behind her pearls, but she got it. She kind of looked over. Now she's getting mad. I could tell she's getting mad. So she kind of threw up her arms like, what? And so that stupid lady, she had to slow down because her lane got slow. And so we just kept going like it was fine. And then next chance she sped up. She put her window down and she is yelling out awful expletives. I believe it was fun food. Fun food. Fun food. I couldn't read her lips well, but I think it was fun food because I know it wasn't the other word, right? No. She's just telling us to go have good dinner. Fun food. Go have fun food. You have fun food. And she was very expressive about it because her face was all contorted up, twisted up. She was turning a little red. Her hands were gripping the steering wheel. She was leaning back and forth like she was trying to work out bad burrito. Sorry. But you know what I'm talking about. You get on that little porcelain seat, and you got to do a little rocking back and forth to get that burrito to go. Sorry. I'm sorry. Look. I try to be polished, but you can only polish a turd so much. I mean, I'm just a mess. But that's what I was thinking. I'm like, she looked like she got poop. I'm sorry. And so Sarah just kind of looks at her. And I'm over in the passenger seat, leaning down, like I had passed the burrito, so she could see me. And I'm over there. Our windows are up, and I'm getting stupid. My brain has stopped. And I'm like, what? Hoping, because I don't want to yell at no lady. I'm sorry. Hoping that in the passenger seat was some big old country dude that was going to lean his head forward so then I could direct my aggression towards the man, right? Man don't need to yell at no woman. But I'll yell at a man like, dude, deal with your woman, right? I'll tick him off and make his day miserable because he's now trying to mess up my pizza dinner, which was great. Newark style pizza, had to fold it, floppy pizza, chicken wings and Greek salad. And we had some garlic knots, and them things were huge and greasy. God, the garlic on them was crazy. I'm glad we kissed before we went to eat because I ain't want to put no breath on her like that because them jokers was nasty, right? I mean, my breath was garlicky. I would have killed a vampire in the next state. But anyway, and then we just turned off, and I'm just sitting there in my head going, really? So I said to myself, you know what, I got to talk about this tomorrow because I knew I was going to have to come on. I knew I was going to have to. It sounded like it's a chore. I knew I got the opportunity to come and hang out with you today. And you're driving. And there's idiots on the road. I know it's not you. I know you're not a road rager. But road rage is real. People will make stupid decisions based upon that moment for whatever reason. Their life is going sideways, and they just decide that that's how they're going to vent. But then road rage can get bad. People make really bad decisions, and they get out and they cause harm to each other, or they actually assault people with weapons and stuff. I mean, it is dangerous out there because people ain't got no sense. South Carolina has just opened up a it's called constitutional carry. It's open carry. Anybody that's old enough that doesn't have a felony can carry a pistol without training. And so you got a lot of idiots out there that think it's cool to carry a firearm and they haven't been trained. And here's the problem with me and people carrying firearms. I'm not against people carrying firearms. I'm not against having a concealed carry permit. I have a concealed carry permit. But if your head ain't right, your aim's not going to be what it's supposed to be. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is if you have carried a. All right, let me back up. I have a big toolbox. I have a lot of big toolboxes. Done a lot of work. Done carpentry work, done auto body work, done fabrication. I've done construction. I've done commercial construction. I've done highway construction. I've done residential construction. I have lots and lots of how-to OJT kind of things. I mean, so I have amassed a bunch of tools. I have a lot of tools, and I have drawers of hammers. I love hammers. I do. But I will do coin rings. Okay, dainty. You can't pull out a 10-pound sledge and think you're going to do the job nicely, successfully with a 10-pound sledge when you need a 4-ounce little dinging hammer, a little bitty, tiny ball peen hammer, a little bitty old thing that the kids would use, right? Sometimes that's what you need. Then you have jeweler's hammers, which are even smaller. I don't have any, but they're even smaller. And so if I want to do framework, I'm going to pull out my 28-ounce S-Wing meat cleaver looking hammer, and I'm going to go to town swinging on nails. If I want to do body work, I'm going to get a lot lighter, a lot smoother, a lot better machined body shop hammer so that I can ding out the dents. If I've got some wedges and I'm splitting wood, I'm going to get the biggest. I got a 20-pound sledgehammer, and I'll pick that thing up and I'll just drive it through. Now, if I use a 4-ounce hammer on that, I'll be there forever and I'll freeze to death. Or, if I use a sledgehammer on construction work, I'm going to mess up the wood. I mean, you have to have the right hammer for the right job. It's the tools in your toolbox. And so some people would go for a sledgehammer and need a 4-ounce hammer. What do I mean? Well, if I have a firearm and I don't have my mind right, somebody starts a little bit of aggression, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reach for that firearm when it's not needed. Most conflict can be handled by avoiding the conflict. Most conflicts you can avoid. The best fight to have is the one that you didn't have to. If you can get away, if you can leave it be, get away and leave it be. Serious. Nothing worth it, right? Go. But then if you have to get in the confrontation, if you can't leave, if you're not able to leave, if it's not possible to leave, you talk about it. You have words. You use your mouth. You use your mind. If that doesn't work, and you can't leave, then you may have to step up with some posturing and slight aggression. And then if it gets to a point where there's nothing left but that 10-pound sledgehammer, you have to do what you have to do. I'm not advocating any harm to anybody, but there are times when you have to protect yourself and protect others. And in the road rage world, it seems like a lot of people, at least in the videos, tend to go for the biggest hammer they have. And bad things happen. When they get interviewed later, they're like, I don't know what happened. I lost my mind. I lost control. I lost this. I'm so sorry. I'm so that. Well, you know what? Sorry is great. Sorry is wonderful. But sorry does not take away the consequences of those actions that happen in those moments. So, road rage. If you're feeling like you're upset, if you're feeling like you're escalating, and it's like, what the heck? Just get away. Just calm down. Just let it go. Let them get in front of you. Let them pass you. They want to brake check you. Let them brake check you. Just back off of them. Just leave them alone. If you come into a point of content where there is somebody who just is not leaving you alone, do your best to get away from the situation. Even if you have to divert your drive, even if you have to slow down and get another lane, even if you have to turn off a road, or you have to whatever, avoid it if at all possible. Honestly, and if it escalates to a point to where you're not able to avoid it at all possible, try to find the least amount of, you know what I'm saying. Think before you do. I've been on the receiving end of road rage before. And I was not as patient as I am now. I had a lot more pride, a lot more attitude, a lot more entitlement. I probably could have dissolved or disarmed the situation better. I've never been one to. I'm trying to be smart in my words. Due to my training in the military and my experiences as a person, I have the ability to use whatever hammer I want to use. I make a point to make sure that my sledgehammer is dusty, that it is not used, that it is the least used thing for action in my arsenal. I practice with it, yeah, but I don't I don't actively seek opportunities to put it into work. I avoid it at all possible because somebody might be having their worst day ever and they may not be in the right mind, and the consequences of the altercation could cause my life and their life to change forever, when it was really something that maybe the other person might have, if given the opportunity to just think about it on their own, he wouldn't have gone that way. So I take that very seriously. And I try to instill that into my children, and I will try to instill that into my grandchildren. Because that's important, because everybody is valuable, everybody is redeemable. Nobody should be mistreated. But when possible, grace should be applied liberally. But that's that. So it's cold here. How's your driving? You doing all right? You got you something to drink? If you're home, get in the house. Enjoy your time with your family. They love you, you love them, and that's where life begins, is when you open that door and you get out of that car, truck, off the motorcycle. I don't think you podcast while you're on a motorcycle. Please don't do that. You got to pay real good attention when you're motorcycling. But I hope you're driving safe. I hope everything is well. I hope you get in the house and you enjoy your family and all is good. It is cold here. It is frizz here. Had to drip the faucets for 2 days, 2 nights. It got into maybe 1920 a couple nights ago. Freaking cold. It was warm, 60s, 70s the days before. I was going to go to the flea market yesterday. I love the flea market. It was so cold, I'm like, ain't nobody going to be out there, so I had to miss the flea market. But I got to spend a great day with the First Lady, so that was a win. We went shopping all over the place and had a good time, went to lunch. Then we got to go out to dinner with the Sosas. It was a full day. And then Reacher season 3 came on, and we got to watch the first episode of Reacher. That was good. I enjoy my time with the First Lady. I really, really do. If it wasn't for her, I probably would not have the mindset I do, because I would still be that brash young idiot making all sorts of mistakes and not giving people grace and mercy and peace. I'd be thinking about myself all the time instead of thinking about others, which really is a big change of who I am. So I'm very thankful for her. I am. Now, I want to be transparent. I do call the First Lady blessing. I've called her blessing for years, and she is a blessing. Sometimes blessings are like Brussels sprouts. They're good for you, but they just don't make your face show it. So yeah, we're human. We're people. Sometimes we get on each other's nerves. I get on her nerves more than she gets on mine. But there is a few times where it's frustrating, but that's okay. Because I give her grace, I give her peace, I give her mercy. I try to understand her perspective, and if she just needs to get a reset or a redo, she's worth it. So that's the fact. And up till now, and hopefully forever, I've been worth it to her, because I know I have frustrated the fart out of her. That's for sure. That's for sure. But it's cold. It is frizz here. It is so cold. Thank God the studio, when I came in this morning, 5 o'clock, the little space heater wasn't on. It was 48 degrees in here. I'm in shorts because I expected that it'd be 64 degrees in here. It's 58 right now. But luckily I was wearing my my warm weather gear, my cold weather gear. I don't want to talk to you about this. I'm not sponsored by them. I would love to be sponsored by them. I would promote the snot out of their stuff. I would. It's not Carhartt. I've worn Carhartt. I've used Carhartt. Carhartt is very good when you're outside doing rough things, going through brush. You're doing construction, working chainsaws, doing all that. But it is stiff. It is very thick. It is very heavy. And I don't mind it. And it's not, oh my gosh, I'm going to sound like a diva right now. It's not form-fitting. It's not slendering. It's work clothes. It's, not that I'm going to ever look like somebody walking down a runway, but, the First Lady goes, man, you just look like a frump. And she's right. And those pants make it worse. The jackets. But I've just never been super big on Carhartt. It's extremely expensive. And it's just heavy. So when I got Carhartt, I wear Carhartt. You wash it a couple hundred times. Eventually it starts getting flexible. You know what I'm talking about. But there's a company that's really doubling down on the construction and workwear. They got shirts and hats and jackets and pants and shoes, safety shoes, and then they've got styles. They do just regular wear, right? Really country, really westernish. Two ladies came up with a company for horses. They started off in equestrian stuff, and they've gone into that. That's the first time I kind of experienced the equestrian stuff. Is I don't like horses. First Lady does, and so I bought her some of this stuff, and she likes it. It fits well. It's very comfortable. It's durable, but it's fancy. And that company's called Ariat. I'm wearing an Ariat hat right now. Don't look. But it's got, they got a whole bunch of the red, white, and blue hats. They got the Patriot hats. They got the neon hats. I mean, they've got all sorts of hats. They got beanies that are really, really nice. The beanie's as good as the Saka beanie, which is one of my favorite beanies from Dunbar Tobacco and Trust. That beanie is hot. It'll sweat your head. It's a good beanie, and it'll last. I've had my beanie. I keep one in my toolbox at work. And when it gets cold or I want to sneak my AirPods in, don't tell my boss. I'm not allowed to wear AirPods, but I'll pull it down over my ears in the wintertime, and I'll listen to my music in one ear. No, don't tell nobody, but I do. I do. But it's a warm hat. Go outside, it's nice and warm, and I've had that for, God, 4 years now. It looks a little ratty, but it keeps your head warm. So we were out at a place up the mountain from us, and they had lots of workwear stuff, and I didn't have a jacket, a nice heavy jacket. I've got my jackets from work, but I don't want to wear my work jackets. Just, I don't know. So I wanted my own jacket, and I found an area jacket that fit amazingly, that had all this technology. I mean, it is technology forward, right? It keeps you warm, but it doesn't make you hot. The hoodie covers your neck if you snap it around your neck, but it doesn't stay around your neck if you have it open and the hood down. The sleeves come down nice and long. The back of the jacket covers your tailbone, so if you got that plumber's crack going on, you don't get snow and wind up in your tuchus. Nobody likes that. Not that I know of. I know that'd be weird. So that's fantastic jacket. But then I started looking. We were at the flea market. Me and Grace were at the flea market, and there was a guy selling area workwear, and it was right around Christmas time. And I picked up one of the Ariat long hammer shirts that had a hoodie on it, and you could flip it up and cover your nose and stuff. And I'm like, man, that thing's banging. But it was regularly $80, and at the flea market it was $45, and I just wasn't throwing $45 at it. And then they had a vest, sleeveless vest. Most vests are sleeveless, right? A sleeveless vest that fit real well, had the pockets where you needed it, had that same material. It was really, really comfortable. And it was regularly $100, and it was like 45, $50 or something like that. And I was like, nah, I ain't doing that. And so, come to find out, my Gracie, she doubled back, said she was going to go take her son Caden to the bathroom. Well, she went and picked up me one of those hoodie shirts and the vest, and I got that for Christmas. And boy, I wore the snot out of it. I liked it so much that at work we can wear work shirts, and there's a work vest. I like vests. Pockets, I like pockets. And I usually wear, in the wintertime, you can wear either black, white, or blue long sleeve shirts. Well, the problem with me is I'll slide my sleeves up to my elbows when it's hot, and then when I pull them down, they kind of flop around. And my job at the car mill is that if the windshields and the back glass, any of the glass that's urethane glued into the car, I have to cut out and replace it if it's cracked or it's not placed right or if it's the wrong part. And you get this urethane, this goo. And if you have your sleeves hanging around, you get the goo on the sleeve, and then you touch a different part of the car, and you get goo all over the car, and you get in trouble for putting goo on the car, right? Goo goes where it's supposed to go, and that's it. You get in trouble if you don't do it right. And so I would have to keep cold arms, and you go out and get cars out in the yard, and your arms would be cold, and it was uncomfortable. And these sleeves are amazing. I'm not going to hold up my hand because I don't want you looking where you're driving, but these sleeves actually have a hole for where your watch pokes through. I don't have a watch, I have a phone. But it also has these little thumb holes. And I'm like, I'm not an emo. I don't need thumb holes. Your thumb goes through the sleeve. But this thing is made so well that your thumb goes through it, so when you put your gloves on, your sleeves don't slide up. You don't get snow or dirt or mud on your wrist and packing up in your gloves. And so I started putting my thumb through the sleeve hole, my thumb through the thumb hole in the sleeve, and it was amazing. And it was the days that I wore it started off, it was in the teens that week, and so I was wearing it outside, and I was nice and warm. I was warm and toasty. And then I come back in the shop, and it's 65 degrees in the shop, 70 degrees in the shop, and I was like, man, I'm going to start sweating. I didn't. It kept me at just nice temperature. It was like a Bovita pack for the body. It just kept the humidity instead of humidity temperature at just that normalization mode. If it's cold outside, it warms the inside. If it's warm outside, it cools the inside. It's just, this stuff's amazing. I actually had to, no lie, this is true. The car mill does a lot of testing. And so it takes and it puts cars in these ovens, big, huge drive-in ovens, And it gets a car up hot, like Arizona hot. No humidity, 110 degrees, Death Valley, wherever Death Valley is, hot. And then they test the car to see if, in extreme conditions, does the car perform the way it's supposed to perform. And then, flip the coin, they put it in sub-zero temperatures in these freezers, these big freezers, and then they test it. Well, come to find out that if the windshield wasn't placed just right, where they had started placing the windshields with the robots, when the car got to be 17 degrees for a long period of time, I don't know who's driving 17 degrees a long period of time, when you hang corners really hard, there's a little squeak where the actual windshield is rubbing up against the metal of the car. I think it's a little squeak. Now, if it was me, if I was an engineer, I'd be like, look, just turn the radio up, right? That's what radio's for. You ain't going to hear it. It's not that big of a deal. But these cars are extremely expensive, and our customers deserve the best product they can have so that they'll buy the next one of our cars when they need one and not buy something else. I get it. But they called me, and I happen to have this shirt on. That's the shirt I'm wearing. And they bring me down there, and they say, I didn't know what I was doing. They said, hey, we need you to cut out a glass we need to get you to cut out a windshield in analysis, where they analyze the cars. In analysis, and it is climate controlled, so make sure you bring something warm. I'm like, climate controlled? That means it's got air conditioning and heat. Now, it was freezing outside. There was snow on the ground in South Carolina. And so I was like, oh, really? I said, okay. And so I grabbed my Saka hoodie, or my Saka beanie, and I grabbed my jacket, which I wasn't going to get my jacket dirty. And I had the sleeves on my vest, and I was going in with my Ariat jacket and pants. I got some thick pants. And so I get in there, and I'm setting up my tools, and I said, okay, where's the car? And the guy comes out from behind this huge, looked like a big paint booth, insulated paint booth, which I thought it was. Comes out with these freaking ski bibs, thicker than thick. Boy, I look like the Michelin Man wearing these things. Not that I don't already. I'm like... They said, you're going to want to wear these. I said, what do you mean I'm going to wear those? He said, you gotta cut the glass out of the car. And I said, we're doing the parking lot? They said, no, we're doing it in that room. I'm like, okay. And they're like, no. We've had the car in there for 5 hours at 17 degrees. I said, what? He said, yeah. I said, are you going to pull it out? And I said, no, you got to cut it in there. I said, what do you mean I got to cut it in there? He said, you got to cut it in there. You'll want to put these on. And they're all donning these big old jackets. They're all engineers and stuff. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. And they said, you're going to be freezing in there. I said, no, I think I'll be all right. And they said, well, I'll tell you what. And they made a joke out of it. Like, I guess other people have said, oh, yeah, I'll just do it. I'm tough. And I didn't say I was tough. I just said, no, I ain't doing that. Because it'd be impossible for me to do my job cutting out all that stuff. And I've got all this bulky garbage all over me. It'd be a hot mess. Here I am already in a room that's dark, which is difficult. And I'm in the cold, which is rough. And I don't have my regular step stools and stuff, right? I don't have my system in place, and now you're gonna have me put on these big oversized jackets? No. And then I was scared to death because I was like, if I put all that on and then I happen to pass gas, I won't be able to get away from it. It'll crop dust me and I'll die in 17-degree weather, right? Because that heat rises and it's gonna run up to my nose, and I don't want that because I know what I smell like. Yeah, it's bad. Anyway, high protein diet. So I get in there, and these guys are bundled up, and they're freezing. Now, I usually cut out a windshield, I don't know. By the time I cut it out and clean it up and get all the urethane off, getting it ready to put the new glass on, it'll take me half an hour, 45 minutes. I cut that glass out in 7 minutes flat, I think. I cut that joker quick. But those boys were in there going, you sure you don't need that jacket? And I said, no, I'm all right. And I got to tell you, my hands were cold. My face was cold. My pants are big. And so the area that wasn't touching my skin would get really, really cold. And then when I move and that area touched my skin, it would get cold. So my legs were cold. But my torso was amazing. It was so toasty. It was nice and warm. It was not hot. It was flexible. It made me a champion for Ariat fantastic gear. That Ariat rebar line, I'm telling you, it's worth the money. Go spend the money. Go buy the gear. And now I have a couple pair of the Ariat pants, and they've got all sorts of hidden pockets, and they are thick like Carhartt, but they are very flexible. I don't know how they do that. And they fit well. First lady says they look pretty good. I'm glad that she thinks that, because, you know, she's mine and I'm hers, and I hope she's happy with the purchase she's made, because she don't get to take me back to any store and get their money back. It's done expired. That warranty is expired. There is no return. She's stuck with me. But I cut that glass out, and I had to wait outside on the picnic table when I was done, because they don't want you in there, because that's all the top secret crap, and they don't want anybody knowing the top secret crap unless you've got that top secret clearance. That's really, really weird. So they got me in there. They shuttled me out with all my tools, and said thank you very much. And later in the day, my process supporter, the person who's in charge driving, says, what did you do? And I said, nothing. I thought I was in trouble. They said, what'd you do? I said, nothing. They said, well, them guys said they'll have you come back and cut out glass, because they cut out glass every once in a while. I guess they chose not to do this one. Suckers. And they said, they'll have you come back and cut out glass anytime. They said, you are really good at what you do, and you are extremely fast, and you don't complain. So usually everybody complains, and I would have probably complained just a little bit if I would not have been wearing my Ariat rebar shirt. I'm telling you, I wish I could get a sponsorship with Ariat, because I'd be wearing Ariat all the time. I mean, it G and hauls with me, and I will end up spending more money on Ariat than I should, because those pants, you can wear them out to dinner, you can wear them to church, for goodness sakes. Wouldn't wear them to a wedding or a funeral. You can wear them to work, dust some jokers off, throw them in a washing machine maybe. You go right out to dinner, and they're gonna last. I can tell they're gonna last a long time. So. And they don't look like work pants. They look like pants that you could put a polo shirt on, or I'm into this new Psycho Bunny thing. I like the Psycho Bunny shirts. So yeah, don't judge me. I do. I can't afford them. If y'all got any Psycho Bunny shirts laying around the house that are not pink, because I don't wear pink, that are 2X, and you want to get rid of them, you know, I'll just reach out to me and I'll give you my address. I'm kidding. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. But Psycho Bunny shirts on sale are $100. They're just stupid. So. I could buy 3 Ariat shirts for that price, which I will. So we are down to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, 40 seconds. I hope you had a good time. I hope your drive was well. I hope you didn't have road rage. This was just a kaleidoscope of Bob the Cigar Guy today. We talked about Ariat. We talked about road rage. We talked about going out to dinner. We talked about flea markets. I love flea markets. We talked about the family. We talked about my opinions on hammers, which I love hammers. I love tools. I really, really do. I wish I could make a cutter shaped like a hammer, or a hammer that had a cutter on it. That'd be cool. With a cigar rest. I don't know. That'd be kind of neat. Be expensive, but it'd be cool. Check out Chief Talk on Thursday nights. Check out Bob the Cigar Guy on Sundays with Saka. Check me out on Drewsdays on Tuesdays. Check me out on Podcast Experience with Bob the Cigar Guy. I got the smokes. Let's ride. We're on episode 10. We'll go to episode 11 next week. Hope you'll be there. Also, second Saturday with First Lady. I'm going to give you some hints. I've told you last week that we have... First Lady's topic is going to be tobacco from around the world, and we are going to be doing the giveaway as always, and there will be Cubans in there. Also, we may have an amazing non-cigar related but dude stuff, titanium pocket knife from an amazing company. I don't know if we're going to get that or not, and maybe some amazing jewelry that may be coming from a friend of the channel. But if we get it, if it comes, when it comes in the mail, I will be sure to tell you about it, and we'll talk about that too, because that's going to be a giveaway. you're going to want to be a part of. We don't do crummy giveaways here. We do big time giveaways, lots and lots of stuff, and this is going to be one of the bangers that we're going to talk about forever. So 30 seconds. You are amazing. You are awesome. You are phenomenal. You are wonderful, and I mean it. I'm saying it fast, and I'm saying it often, but it's the honest to God truth. It is. It is. You are the reason the world's a better place. Thank you for being you, because you make life better. Stay around as long as you can, because the world needs you, and if life is hard, know that people love you and people are there. Reach out and get help if you need it. If you need to reach out to me, reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a comment. Tell me about the show, what you think about it. If you like it, if you love it, if you don't, I'd love that too. I'll talk to you later. Drive safe. Later, Tater. Love you. Bye-bye.